Hey guys, Jason here with Jason's Works here at Rio Grande. Just wanted to go over some tips and tricks on how to pick out your coins for your coin rings. And so here's an example of a silver Washington quarter, 1964. And this is actually probably the best year to get for the Washington quarters, as it's the last year that silver was in circulation in the US. So most of these coins were pulled out of circulation by everybody in 1964 or 1965, so they'll have very little circulation. And as you can see here, the lettering is very crisp, very clean, and the date is very visible, and the reeded edge is very crisp as well. So, and that's what you're looking for, is a nice crisp coin that looks really nice. And there's no visible dings on the edge here. So we'll take a look on, so this is the obverse side of the coin. Now we'll take a look at the reverse. And so here we can see the same detail. The lettering is very crisp, very clean. You can see the feathers on the chest of the eagle. And yeah, it just is a very nice coin. This actually has mint luster on it. So, but always be sure that this coin does not have numismatic value. This 64s generally do not. Just need to really check your coin book just to make sure. That's probably the biggest tip of all of them, is to make sure and double check that your coin does not have a high numismatic value or collector's value. So now we'll take a look at the edge. And so here's the reeded edge, and you can see it's very crisp, very clean, no dents, no dings, and so that'll make a beautiful coin ring. And here's an example of a 1951 silver Washington quarter. As you can see, it's not quite as nice as the last one. You can see the Y is almost rubbed out, and the T on Liberty. Also the date here, the 9, you can see some wear on it. There's not a crisp edge on the reed side here. It's not too bad, but it wouldn't be my first pick. If there were some other coins of better quality, I would probably choose that. So now we'll take a look at the reverse side. And as you can see here, feathers are rubbed off. You still have nice letters here though that you can read, but there's a little bit more wear here and wear here on the eagle's chest. We'll take a look at the reed. And there's a little bit more wear here, but not bad. This would make a decent coin ring. That's one thing that I do, is I look for the best junk silver that I can find. This would be considered junk silver. Not that it's junky, but there's no numismatic value. It's just worth the value of the silver and any premium that the coin dealer may have on it. And so here's an example of a 1964 silver Washington quarter. As you can see, it's very shiny. There's good detail. You can read all the lettering. And so this coin has been polished. Now, if this had numismatic value, the actual polishing would actually detract from the value of the coin. One trick you can do, not trick, but maybe a tip I would say, is to ask your coin dealer if he had any polished coins, like a polished Morgan dollar. That way it would be less expensive for you to obtain a good quality coin, but with certainly no numismatic value. So we'll take a look at the reverse side. And that side's been polished as well. Good detail. So this would make a great coin ring, even though it's been polished. We'll take a look at the reed now. Well, it looks like I spoke too soon. There's a big ding right there, and that is certainly going to affect a coin ring. So I don't think I would choose that one. There's another. So this coin got smashed pretty good. That will actually come through on the edge of your ring. So one more example of a 1964 silver Washington quarter. Now this one's kind of a trick coin here. It looks terrible. It's filthy, dirty, stained, but everything is crisp on it. Very crisp lines, the lettering is good, the date is good. It's just a little dirty. And as we look at the reverse, same story. Looks really, really bad as far as overall look, but we're going to be annealing it. And so any of that dirt, grime, grease that's on the coin will be burnt off, and you'll actually have a really nice ring with this. We'll look at the edge now, and it looks good. Good looking edge on this one. So this would be a keeper, even though it looks a little dirty. And here's an example of a 1945 Walking Liberty. This is considered probably the world's prettiest coin. It is really, really beautiful and makes a really nice coin ring. I think certainly my most popular coin ring that I make. And this is a good example of one. It's not pristine, but it will make a beautiful coin ring. You can see the lettering is very crisp, very clean. The rays of the sun, very nice. Now on these particular coins, the first place to wear is right here, from the head down to the toe. That'll be a worn spot. And if you can find one that has the stripes of the flag that's draped around her, that crosses her left knee right here, that is a very, very nice coin. So that's the first thing that I look for. And then face detail, and then also her hand. If her hand has good detail, that's a good sign as well. There's a little bit of wear here, but we're actually punching that out, so we won't see that. But we have a really nice date, In God We Trust, Liberty Sun Rays, so that's a great coin. So we'll look at the reverse now. Really nice example here as well. Lettering is very crisp, very clean. You can still see some of the feathers on the eagle's chest. And that's one kind of general or big tip to go with on choosing your coin is that you look for the center to be crisp. The reed is always taller or thicker, and that's to protect the field inside of the coin. So when it's rubbing in your pocket, coin against coin, it'll help to protect the detail with the reed being a little bit wider. So now we'll take a look at the reed. And that looks really nice. Now on the Walking Liberties, there's a little ding right there. That's not bad. I've noticed on the Walking Liberties that, I think it's right about here, the coin is actually a little bit thinner. Let's see where it is. So it's right about there. Right on her head. And then if we flip it around to her toe, the coin is a little bit thinner. It's kind of interesting about that, but it's not enough to really affect it. Not like a Washington quarter, silver Washington quarter, or a Ben Franklin. As the coins get really thick or really thin, they'll tend to wobble on you. But just a little quick note on that. So here's a 1939 Walking Liberty, and this one's worn a bit more. You can see the date here, 1939. It's not as crisp, not as clean, but it's still legible. You can still read it. In God We Trust, a little bit more worn, but not bad. The T is a little worn, but you can still read Liberty. And you can see here it's much more worn down from the head to the toe, and no stripes coming across the knee. It would make an okay ring. In the 1930s, as the coins get older, they'll have more and more wear, of course. So this is a pretty decent one for a 39. If you can find a 20s or a teens this good, you really got something. But again, make sure and check the numismatic value. You wouldn't want to destroy a valuable coin. We'll look at the reverse. And looks okay, not bad. You can read all the wording. Lost detail on the head of the eagle, and that'll be on the ring. So. But that'll usually be on the inside, so not as important. But overall, a nice coin for the year, but would probably look, see if there's any better ones. Okay, so now we'll check out the reed. A little bit more wear, but not bad. No dings, no dents, just not as crisp. Overall, pretty good, but we'll look for better ones. Okay, 1943 Walking Liberty. Nice detail on the flag, a little wear here, but words are nice. But I can see there's some things going on with the reed. I'm not sure. We'll take a look at that. Let's look at the reverse real quick. Okay, yeah, we got some damage here on the reed. Not too bad, but that will come out on the ring. Overall detail is okay, but let's take a closer look at the reed. And so there's the damaged part, so it won't make the prettiest ring. Yeah, I'd probably pass on that and see what else is available. Okay, so now to Morgan dollars. These are my favorite coins. So it's kind of a oh, what'd you say? A catch-22, I guess. I don't like putting holes in these coins, but they make beautiful rings, and just to be able to carry one on your finger and show it around is pretty amazing. So these are really nice. And you do really want to make sure not to use one of these that have a high numismatic value, because those are very special. And so to look at what I look for on these coins in particular are the letters, of course, and the date and the stars. I really like the date to be crisp for the ring, because that's really the center of attention for me. Different ring makers like different aspects of the obverse or reverse of the coin, but I particularly like the obverse of this coin. So we'll take a look at the reverse. So here's the reverse of the Morgan dollar, and this is actually what I really look for right off the bat, is the reverse and the eagle feathers on the chest. That is a dead giveaway if you got a good coin or not so good coin. And this one is really, really nice. It actually has mint luster on it, and it was minted in, looks like, Philadelphia. So pretty cool coin there. That looks really nice. We'll take a look at the reed as well. And it looks like that's a really nice crisp reed. So that is a keeper. And so here is another 1921 Morgan silver dollar. This one looks nice. Good detail. Lettering is very crisp. And the ear is very legible. We'll look at the reverse. A little bit more wear on the eagle's chest. So not as good as the last Morgan dollar, but still a nice one. I would still use that. And also with the Morgan dollars, I've come across a few with initials on the center of the coin, and come to find out, I was told that this was actually done during World War II. That if you had coins in your possession that you needed to put your initials on it. So not sure if the validity of that, but I've come across a few, and so whenever I do, I actually keep those. I prefer not to make rings out of those. I see that as a piece of history. So take a look at the reed, and looks like it's a good reed. No dings or dents, so that will make a nice ring. Even though the eagle chest is a bit worn, that'll actually get punched out. So here is a 1941 Mercury Dime. I wasn't planning on showing a dime in this this section, but this one was so beautiful. I had to show you. It's very crisp, very clean, and you can actually see there's a bit of oxidation on the outside of the coin. So this was most likely kept in a roll for a very long time, where the outside just oxidized and was taken out of the roll. So this, I don't know, I would think about putting this into my personal collection, maybe not making a ring out of it. So we'll take a look at the reverse. And so here's the reverse, and you can see here, this is where I look for dimes. This fasci, it's an axe head that's put into a stack of reeds, and there's a ribbon wrapped around. That ribbon is the first thing to wear off. So that's what I look for, first thing. If it's crisp, then you got a really nice Mercury dime. And the lettering is nice again. So beautiful dime. All right, well, that's it for this demonstration. I hope that it has helped you to pick out better coin rings, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.